These people don't give a shit.
Who's giving them the business?
All the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He got it.
Goes Davis.
Oh my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back.
Deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
50 to the 40. Herbert Whitfield to the 30 to the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
Welcome to Week 4 College Football Extravaganza podcast. Week 3 week recap. Week 3 recap.
You got this. I believe in you.
We're gonna work through this. We just sorry we're a little bit late, but the Eagles are playing tonight, and
The Birds.
The Birds. I got Saquon, and I need him to come back in my fantasy football. So it's gonna be a hectic episode here if the Birds start playing, and we're still trying to go through these games. So we're gonna get these games to you guys. Week 3, kind of full of surprises, man. Honestly, I was running through it in my head. I mean, first game, obviously, we want to get to is the FSU Memphis game.
We don't have to.
I think we have to.
We don't have to.
I think we have to. And at the same time, you got the South Carolina LSU game going on. So just takes on FSU right now, Joey. It's bad. It's real. No, I mean, Florida's bad too. We'll get to Florida.
Good.
But FSU is real bad right now.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say here. I mean, it's just, honestly, everyone likes to blame DJ. That offensive line play is just god-awful right now. It didn't really matter who you put back there. They're not going to play well. The wide receivers can't catch it whenever DJ does throw a good ball. So, I mean, the positive outlook, if you want to have a positive outlook for it, is Adkins, our offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, has been suspended these first 3 games. We talked about that last week. He's back this week. Maybe that has something to do with the offensive line play. I don't know how much an offensive line coach actually does during the game compared to during the week because he's been there during the week. So maybe that plays a little bit into it. But, I mean, they just
having him there on game day, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, he can't make the wide receivers catch. He can't make the running backs run anymore. I mean, I just don't understand why they're not. We've heard about like Wayne McCoy and Elijah Moore, how good those 2 young freshman receivers were all year, but yet they keep running on Darian Williamson, who's had 1 good game in his career. It doesn't make any sense to me. The coaching's, I don't know, the people are going to get fired. Mike Norvell's not going to get fired. Don't think I mean that.
Not this year, no.
But if Adkins doesn't get this line going well, if Randy Shannon, our linebacker coach, is gone, those linebackers are terrible. He might get fired tomorrow. I'd fire him. I would have fired him last year. So, I mean, they're just, they're a dumpster fire.
I think, yeah, the wide receivers dropping these balls is just egregious. You know, you have a couple first down drops. Last in the Boston College game, the tight end had a couple big drops. I think he had 1 good catch this game. It was a long good catch. So
he was pressing in that Boston College game because he knew it was going to be such a big part of the game plan. And the kid came from Division II. He played pretty decent last year, but he was, he wasn't relied on like he was supposed to be this year. But he's been non-existent. The wide receiver coach, man, he might be gone too because we had a problem with him when he first started. Lawrence Dawsey used to play at Florida State, so you hate firing that guy, but.
I don't even know if that was English. I don't even know if that was English.
Lawrence Dawsey.
Lawrence Dawsey, okay.
Yeah. He has developed nobody. He had 2 wide receivers drafted last year, both of them transfers. Keon Coleman, I could have coached Keon Coleman to be drafted last year. So, I mean, if they're not going to develop anyone, if the young wide receivers that are supposed to play are not getting in the game, I mean, what are we doing here? I don't know.
So, Joey from Panama City, FSU, Joey saying start Brock, bench DJ, which is what you said last week pretty much at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I said it during the game in our group chat that, I mean, at least Brock can run the ball a little bit. DJ's not running at all. So, I mean, maybe that gives you something on offense. Maybe it opens up the rest of the running game. And I don't know if Brock's going to be better. The reports out of practice are that he has clearly not won the job.
All right. So FSU Joey is definitely drunk already. He says, how many times are the wide receiver worried ABT needing to make catch because that's how bad this team is?
I wish I was that drunk already.
I think relieving pressure with a mobile QB will help a lot. Well, DJ is supposed to be that guy. DJ is supposed to be mobile.
DJ's a power runner. He's not that shifty guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, you saw it in the pocket. He tried to make a couple plays and he just couldn't do it. So Brock might be the answer short term, but in long term, I think we're gonna have to wait for Luke Romanhawk to be ready.
Block party. Yeah, so big win by Memphis. They almost let FSU come back there towards the end. They did what some teams that we're going to get to should have done. They played a little bit aggressive. They went for it on fourth down. They punted it to you guys, gave y'all an opportunity, but they did go for it on fourth down a few times.
Yeah, and they got it a couple times. They didn't another couple times. But why wouldn't you? Our defense, for some reason, they're great on first and second down. Third and fourth down, they're just non-existent.
Just not there. Yeah.
Defense did not play all that bad. They gave us a chance to win it. We just can't do anything on offense right now.
Yeah, so Mike Norvell, I think me and you agree. He's staying another year regardless. If y'all go from 13-0 to 0-13, he's staying this year.
Correct.
And so, you'll go 0-12. You won't go 0-13.
It's similar, honestly. Being an Eagles fan, I'm wearing my AJ Brown jersey. If you don't look at the back of it,
okay.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that they had such a collapse at the end of last season, and everyone's sitting there like fire Nick Sirianni. He literally just took the team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you're going to really fire that guy. He's proven he can have success. Let him get it figured out. It might be a coordinator problem, but the Eagles, I think it was a coordinator problem. With FSU, I'm not really sure what the issue is right now.
Yeah, it's just a bad team issue right now. It's like no one's playing. The players aren't playing confident. And they're not playing well.
There's talent there, so
yeah.
You got to look at the coaches.
And the same thing. So we'll kick it to Florida, I guess, because it's just a pity party. This is obviously a Florida-based podcast. So this is the Florida State game at the end of this year.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be just the toilet bowl. If you've ever seen a toilet bowl before, that's probably going to be in the dictionary for the definition of the game, toilet bowl. And Billy Napier,
probably is not going to be coaching.
He's not going to be by that point in the season.
No.
Although his press conference today, someone asked him, has anyone talked to you about your future plans? And do you see a way that you can turn this around and be here for a fourth year? And he said, no one's talked to me about my future plans. And yeah, 100%. So, coach speak, or he's just not being looped in. There was a board of directors
what do
meeting.
You say if you're in his spot, even if you're told you're fired? You can't tell your players that.
Yeah. Let's just look at this Texas A&M game real quick. Just thinking back to it, man. From start to finish, A&M destroyed Florida. They were in control the entire time, ran the ball down their mouth. I have one complaint that's not related to Florida at all. The commercials for ABC are god-awful. There was a Texas A&M touchdown commercial, kickoff touchdown, or kickoff commercial, came back, weather delay, just straight hour of just no action whatsoever. And
I think that's a lot to do with, we're off topic here, but the college football rule changes now where the clock doesn't stop on first down unless it's inside 2 minutes. There's less actual game time, but they still got to fill the same amount of commercial time. So they're just spamming you with commercials nonstop. It's so annoying.
It's bullshit. Y'all need to change that. And then also referees, there was a bad targeting call. There was this Florida guy tackled some Texas A&M dude in the ass and got called for targeting. Fuck you. Fuck that. That's bullshit. I don't know. And in other games, too, it happened. I don't know if they saw Tua. Yeah, I don't know if they saw Tua last week and they were like, we're not going to allow anything this week. I don't know. It's getting ridiculous. You can't even – it's going to be flag football before we know.
They had corrected that a little bit. Now it's all of a sudden it's back in full force.
It was bullshit last week. Last week was bullshit. But anyway, so Florida, same place. Almost same defensive scheme. I could see the safety coming down to get the running back whenever he came through. I don't see any changes whatsoever from the Miami game to from like the Utah game last year for Florida. Just the same play calling. Nothing's changed. They have an offensive coordinator, but he's obviously being held to whatever Billy's playbook is.
Yeah,
it's just unimaginative. And pretty much everyone who's a Florida fan is like, Billy's got to go.
There's no doubt. I think the only reason they kept him from last year is because they knew how brutal the schedule was this year.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to fire him before that stretch happens, I think. And then they're going to do what FSU did with Mike Norvell. They fired Willie Taggart after like the week 7, and then you have about 6 weeks or so after that to evaluate and find your coach and do a real coaching search instead of these teams that fire their coach after week 13 and you got 2 weeks till signing day.
Yeah.
And you got to find someone immediately.
I think
That's how we end up with Willie Taggart.
Yeah, that's true. I think they wanted that big signing class because it was like a top 5 signing class. Maybe it was like hovering around 3, and then everyone kind of dropped off because they're not winning any football games. And so they dropped off, but Florida still gets DJ Lagway, so you want to keep him. You want to keep some of these more just like Florida State. There's talent on the team. There's just no development. There's no strength and conditioning apparently for Florida. They're getting pushed all over the fucking field. They don't tackling's a little bit better than it was last year, but Marcel Reed, backup quarterback for Texas A&M, probably should have been starting over Connor Wegman the entire time. This dude cut up on Florida whenever given the opportunity. Shook Pup Howard out of his shoes, I think, up the middle. It looked like Texas A&M rallied around him.
I didn't watch this game because I wanted to watch good football we played.
Yeah. Understandable.
So I watched Florida. No.
That was before. That's
but I didn't know they changed quarterbacks. It's probably a good thing. Wegman's just not.
Wegman was hurt, and so Marcel Reed got a chance, and I think he's going to be the guy going forward. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
So interesting. Graham Mertz had glimmers of light. He passed the ball well on a couple drives. There was an interception that got tipped. Lagway, he didn't look too good, but just like FSU, O-line not really blocking too good for him. So
what can you do?
Yeah, you can't do much there. So Florida State, Florida, that's the wrap up on week 3. It's we'll talk more this week. Florida State's got a tough game coming up, and Florida, historically, not an easy game to play at Mississippi State. So we'll get to that.
Mississippi State's bad
here in a second. Mississippi State is bad, and I'm trying to see where all my slides are at. Let's see. Joey says FSU UF game is going to be a race to 13. I don't even know what that means, Joey.
Yeah, Billy Taggart an extension.
Billy Taggart's not getting an extension, Joey. I don't know what to tell you.
The running backs coach for the Ravens, he'll get an extension.
I don't know what to tell you. But
Derrick Henry looks like trash right now too. So
what other games were going on in that
LSU
in that 2:30? Oh yeah, so
LSU, that was 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
that was an awesome game.
Well, we got to talk about that anyway. That
Yeah.
was a good game. Another game where officials kind of took 2 pick sixes back.
Yeah, well, I mean, those looked like legitimate penalties, though.
I mean, I get you don't have to put your hands on the guy. You should have not touched. Like, it's way outside of the play. But I sat here on the couch last week and I said South Carolina's edge rushers are gonna.
They dominated.
They did dominate, and they gave Nussmeier a tough time. I said they would force maybe pick sixes, and they almost got him.
Yeah.
Almost got him.
Yeah, honestly, if South Carolina's quarterback doesn't get hurt and have to leave the game, they win that game for sure. LSU's defense has not gotten any better than it was last year. So they're going to have to score a lot, and I don't know if they can really keep up with a lot of the best teams in the SEC. Really, anybody. They couldn't keep up with USC. And USC might be good. But
yeah, it does put a little question mark there, doesn't it?
Yeah, how good is USC? We're going to find out. They got a difficult schedule. But I don't know. I'm trying to think about where I was going with this. I can't think about it. I think both those teams aren't very good is basically the sum.
I mean, I think they're like hovering around average.
Right.
Average teams. Yeah. What a heartbreaker for South Carolina, really. Like, I think they should have won that game. They feel they should have won that game. And they were a couple feet, maybe a couple inches away from going to overtime.
I remembered it. How dumb is LSU for how they're using Harold Perkins? Harold Perkins, Do you remember him 2 years ago? He was the dominant force in college football, and they've moved him from edge rusher to middle linebacker, and he is nothing for them. He doesn't produce anything. Before he was getting like 3 sacks a game, and their defense stinks. So
I like how you did the Trump hands. He's doing nothing. They need to put him back on the D line.
Absolutely. So yeah, they gotta put him in a position to make plays because no one else on their defense can.
Yeah, well, South Carolina not as much of a pushover as we thought. LSU probably kind of about the same level as South Carolina. I don't like you said. It brings up a lot of question
marks.
marks.
Scores on here. You got to go to scores. It's such a better view on ESPN.
Don't fuck me up like this.
I promise you, it's better. Go to scores. Oh no, Robert. Oh no.
That's fine. So
Here you go, and then go back to week 3.
so Kentucky. Well, do you have anything left on South Carolina
Yeah, I'm good
LSU?
with that game.
Yeah.
Fuck LSU for not covering.
I mean, I locked them in. We all locked them in, actually. That's why I'm kind of upset I don't have the locks here.
Terrible in college football last week.
I don't have the locks right here. I might have to re-download them. So,
Actually, well, we'll talk about it after.
so same time, Alabama, Wisconsin. That game.
Dirty play by Alabama.
What?
Dirty play by Alabama.
Dirty play.
Killing Van Dyke.
I mean, I think they would have won regardless.
Probably, but I mean, the second play of the game, they take Tyler Van Dyke out.
I mean, that's Alabama's MO. Do we not remember
DeAndre Francois.
Francois? Do you not remember Texas quarterback who got knocked out? What was it?
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy got knocked out. And I think, was it Ewers that got knocked out? No, that was LSU, right?
Ewers did
No,
get knocked
wait.
out, but it wasn't against Alabama. It was like the next week.
Okay.
Ewers beat him. Maybe he got knocked out
The
first time they
year
played.
before.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
The year before.
Well, I mean, bigger, tougher, stronger. What do you want?
Bigger, tougher, stronger. But yeah, so Alabama sat here, had one half of the Alabama cousins say, Alabama, once they get that lineman in, ain't nothing going to stop us.
Yeah, and I did end up taking Alabama in that game. I was kind of wavering on the podcast. Wow, that was a voice crack there. Kind of wavering on the podcast
Wavering.
last week. It just seemed too obvious that they were going to go in and blow out Wisconsin, but it would be interesting to see what actually happened if Van Dyke was healthy. But
So you did lock Wisconsin in on the podcast, but you're
I
gonna
switched
switch
a
it
lot of locks. It's tough picking games on Monday
this early.
because I really don't know how I feel about them until Saturday morning.
And then you got a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah.
All right. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'm getting us our graphics because I worked hard on this last night. And we are goddamn getting graphics. You piece of shit. So, Alabama, if they play like that, because Camp Randall's not an easy place to play.
Right.
I mean, but they look like they're having fun. They look like they're loose. They were jumping around to jump around in the fourth quarter. Like,
Well, did you see the students jump around and then they left? They left right after jump around.
I would too.
But they were getting their ass kicked. So, I mean, what do you want from them?
I would leave immediately after that as well. All right. Pull over here. Ole Miss, man. Ole Miss covers again. They're 3-0 against the spread.
They've also played nobody, though.
They have played nobody.
But good teams win, great teams cover.
Yeah, and that's good for our pocketbooks here. I need to bet on them every single week if they
Yeah.
keep doing
They
this.
play another scrub this week, so might as well.
Yeah. So Ole Miss, we knew they were going to win. I don't know what in the world possessed me to not lock them in. So that's my fault. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. So let's get to this.
Kentucky, yes.
Kentucky, yes. Kentucky
Played some football.
did play some football. They showed up prime time, millions of eyes on them. Georgia and Kirby Smart have had these games before. And
They mess around with people.
They do. They mess around. They had that close call against Missouri. They had a close call against South Carolina, I think, last year, a few years ago. So, Kirby Smart team is known if they don't get started early. I mean, even the first half of Clemson was low scoring until they ran away with it.
Right.
So they just didn't run away with it this time. And another call, that ball did not hit the ground I think it was the first half. The ball popped up from the Georgia guy. Kentucky ran it back for a pick six.
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. This was another game that I'm pretty sure I locked in Georgia on this podcast.
We all did. We all three
I
locked
bet
in.
Kentucky, actually, on Saturday. Sorry if anyone took that Georgia pick, but or the Wisconsin pick.
Whoops. Yeah. No,
Uh,
we're going to pull up the picks here. It's a big whoops on us, guys.
Yeah, I think I was listening to somebody talk and say that apparently Mark Stoops has a just way more intense practices the week when they're underdogs, which kind of doesn't make sense. Why would you not do that every week?
Yeah.
But they do play really good as underdogs. They played this, maybe not the same game against Georgia, but I feel like they cover against Georgia every year after, I don't, after seeing this. I know I bet on them against Georgia before and they've covered, but
I know last year they didn't because I bet because they were looking good. I think they were like 3-0 going against Georgia last year, and I was like, oh, Kentucky's good this year. They just came off a Florida victory.
I think it was like Kentucky's first 5 games last year were just cakewalks, and then they played Georgia and got absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, I think so too. And then that just irritated me because they got annihilated, and I put money on it. So, but good job, Kentucky. I don't want to overreact to this.
I still don't think they're good.
I don't think they're good. I don't think Georgia's bad either. I think
Georgia might have a playmaker problem.
Yeah, I think they have a depth problem maybe.
Yeah, well, everyone is going to have a depth problem nowadays with the transfer portal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see who's going to step and make plays for Georgia. They don't have Brock Bowers anymore, or they do have ETN, but we'll see.
Yeah, they have ETN. ETN, like his problem at Florida was he wasn't good at pass pro. Like he would just let everyone buy him. So that's
not ideal.
It's not ideal for Georgia at all. No. So that's my thing. With him, he is a playmaker, but he got bottled up. He got bottled up last game against Kentucky, so they did a good job.
Based on that, what I just said about Kentucky a second ago, I'm going to try a new strategy of betting against them when they're favorites and betting on them when they're underdogs and just see how that goes.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. All right, let's see. Oh, so I actually have these fucking things now. Piece of shit. Wow. This is why I need to be in like a double screen. Get you and Justin on the couch and get me like in the pod somewhere. Yeah, producer status over there somewhere. All right, let's go to the score view, like you said. All right, Boston College gave Missouri all they wanted and more.
Yep.
You locked in the over here.
Did not
hit. It was 54 and a half, something like that. Missouri had a chance to score with the ball at the end. I don't think they could. I was watching. I think I was watching one of the other games. Probably I was watching Florida get absolutely.
No, this was an early game, so this was during the Florida State and LSU game.
Okay, that's the game I was. I had the multi-view on, to be fair, but we were popping into the Florida State game mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, Missouri at number 6. This is why that kind of bothers me. I don't think they're number 6 right now.
I don't either.
I could name. I think you got Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Miami. I would put ahead of Missouri
right now.
Right now, I think so. There's 5 teams right there. I don't think they're bad. I think their schedule is conducive to them making a playoff run.
They definitely can make the playoff. They could potentially make the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
I just don't know how good Boston College is.
Yeah, I know, right?
Are they actually a decent team? I mean, they came out firing in this game. They had, their big touchdown to start was a broken play, but they just didn't go away either. I mean, they tried to make it a game in the fourth quarter, but Castellanos he threw a couple picks in this game that didn't look great, but Missouri's defense, I will say, is a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
Pretty sure Boston College had the lead there for a second. Was it 14-3 or was it
14-3 for sure?
Yeah, 14-3, and then Missouri, and the box score says they scored 14 points in the second quarter. So, come back there in the second quarter, and then they held Boston College in the third. I think it was 14. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but ultimately Missouri comes out on top. Brady Cook throws for 264 yards. Luther Burden was a problem with 6 receptions for 117 yards. Dude's a beast. Luther Burden's still a beast. So, we'll see how Missouri develops throughout the season. They could be a problem, but right now I'm kind of like, because I don't think Boston College is that good, but they did move up to 24, and after the loss, I think they moved up another spot in some analytic polls.
Really, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've watched Missouri's last 2 games, and I haven't been overly impressed with them. So.
Tennessee absolutely kills the worst team in college football, Kent State.
Tennessee's a problem.
Tennessee is a huge problem. And I would like to see a Tennessee-Texas SEC championship. That'd be pretty badass.
That would be a high-scoring game. And
that'd be
very fun.
Very fun game to watch. Overs all day. So Tennessee scores 37 points in the first quarter, 28 in the second quarter, and then 3 points and 3 points in the fourth quarter. This could have been a 100-point game.
Yeah, Nico only threw for like 170 yards too. And I don't know, Tennessee, they were playing with their food. I mean, this was disgusting.
See, Arch could have been backing up at Tennessee. He didn't want to back up at Tennessee.
No, he's playing at Texas.
Texas, huge victory over UTSA coach I saw in a press conference. Some reporter asked him, "What's the difference between last time you played Texas and it was pretty close, and this time?" He was like, "Well, we had some veterans on their team, and now they have veterans on their team, and we go through and we mark every single great player for every team we play, and this team is stacked. They got guys behind those guys. They got fast guys. They got Arch Manning, for God's sakes.
Yeah, 75-yard touchdown run.
Boy, he's fast.
Yeah,
Good
a Manning
God.
that can run.
Good God, he's got legs like his granddad. So, Texas is a problem. Halfway through the Florida game, me and my brother, who's a Florida State fan, and a Kentucky fan, all said we're switching to Texas. So we're entering the transfer portal. This is going to be a Texas podcast as of next week.
Hey, I got them to win the national championship.
Me
game,
too.
So.
Me too. Might even throw some more on that futures bet. But yeah, all right. Team that snuck up on us this week, they finally woke up. Oregon.
Didn't sneak up on me. I called this one.
You did. You said on the podcast, you said Oregon's going to finally wake up from their slumber.
Oregon State was a square pick. A lot of people were on them.
Yeah. So I stayed away from it because I felt like it could happen, but at the same time, Oregon just wasn't very impressive on their defensive side.
True.
So I mean, do they continue this? Do we think Dylan Gabriel was the guy? Like, he did rip off what was like a 50-yard run there.
Yeah.
That's what I love, this read option. I love the speed. I mean, Dan Lanning, spread offense, love it. Looks good at Oregon. That is what Oregon is. I don't know, dude.
Well, I mean, I don't know. This game, I think I like the spot for Oregon more than I actually like Oregon. I still don't think they're really they might be a playoff contender, but I don't think they're a national championship contender.
No, I think you're right, but I don't think they'll get a chance to make the playoffs though. They got to play Ohio State. They'll probably have to play. Let's see. They'll probably have to play USC. Oregon has to play.
Schedule. I love reading schedules.
No, they don't have to play USC. They do have to play
They
Michigan.
don't play Indiana anywhere? No.
Not Indiana.
UCLA, they're going to crush UCLA.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, Oregon's got a
Michigan's
chance.
trash, too. They're going to beat Michigan.
Yeah, Oregon's got a chance here. They just got to get past Ohio State. Just got to get past Ohio State.
One loss, they're going to go to the Big 10 championship.
Yeah. Okay, the game we missed on Friday night, Arizona, Kansas State. I think Justin locked this one in. And big loss on Justin's behalf there. Kansas State walloped Arizona.
Arizona too. That game sucked.
Arizona's not looking too
Arizona
hot.
didn't even have a chance in that game.
No. Utah, Cam Rising didn't play. They actually held it pretty close to Utah State. Held it pretty close to them.
Cam Rising
for a long time.
Doesn't play. Utah's not great.
No. So Utah's got a big one coming up this week. We'll get to talk about that here in a second. Oklahoma Tulane rapid fire. That game was close in the fourth quarter too. Tulane could have had it. Ended up costing me money because they didn't cover that minus 13, minus 14.
Yeah, I took Tulane too. That game was they were in it the whole time. They had a chance to win it and don't even cover.
Yeah, so Tulane, good team. Oklahoma, we'll talk about them again. They got a big game. Could be the game of the week, some might say, for this upcoming week. Notre Dame bounces back after the loss to Northern Illinois.
I knew that too, and I didn't bet them. It was so frustrating.
66-7 over Purdue.
So obvious.
I don't know. I don't know if that's obvious or they just got it to like that. That doesn't make sense to me.
It's a spot game. I mean, they had the worst loss, one of the worst losses in program history, playing a Purdue team.
And they get their shit together. Well, when Florida has one of its worst losses, they just go out the next week and fucking do worse.
Yeah, who are you talking to here?
That's what I'm saying. Why can't we do that?
I don't know.
I want to do that.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, dude. I'm just.
How about that South Alabama game last week? I know it's not a big game. Do you see what they did?
It was like 87 points, right?
Yeah, and they ran 5-minute
5-minute running clock. Yeah.
And apparently, little betting side note here, you have to have your bets to count 55 minutes in a game. They ended up with like 54 total minutes in the game.
What?
So yeah, the betting sites could technically have said that South Alabama bets were not. They refund them instead of paying them out. But a lot of the sites still paid it anyway, which is the right thing to do. But
that is the right thing to do. Thank you, Hard Rock.
No, Hard Rock didn't do it. They weren't.
Oh no, not the
I'm pretty
Hard
sure
Rock.
they might have done it retroactively, but on Friday, whenever I was listening to some shows, they had not done it at that point.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. All right, so we're gonna bring up these locks real quick. These are locks from last
We
week.
don't have to look at these.
Justin and Justin had an extra lock in there. He added in somewhat. He went with West Virginia there at the end. So we all actually added a sixth lock.
Did I take West Virginia or Pittsburgh? Because that was another one that I bet Pittsburgh whenever the game
I think we all took West Virginia.
Boo us.
Yeah, we all took West Virginia. So technically, Justin's 2-4 there. I ended up going 3-3. So Bama, got Bama. Boston College, Mizzou over. I went with Joey on that one. I went on my own on this Old Dominion, though. That did not hit.
Told you.
That did not hit whatsoever. This Old Dominion plus 14, I thought they'd keep it close. I'm off the Old Dominion train. I won't be buying any.
I told you why you bet that. It was a bad bet.
Well, I won't be buying any insurance from Old Dominion either. I think, well, Old Dominion have played South Carolina tight, and then Virginia Tech lost to Vandy. So I'm just, this is a trans podcast.
No,
This is
weird.
a trans podcast.
I'd say transit property, not real.
Joey, this is a trans podcast, whether you
didn't
like
make
it
a
or
thing
not.
For my pit locks.
Yes, I did.
We don't have to walk at them.
Joey, you did pretty bad this week. So
Again, picking on Monday sucks because I figured out Indiana. Why I didn't luck in Indiana? They were the most obvious bet on the board, -3.5 against a UCLA team that's trash. I profited on college football solely based on that Indiana pick.
is Indiana real?
I think they're JMU. They have JMU's old coach. They stole all of their players. They're basically just JMU West.
Well, they're 3-0, 4-0 right now.
And they
right?
are scoring a bunch of points, and their defense is legit. They might be a real team.
So
They have the ESPN or something has them like a 25% chance to make the playoff.
So you're hearing it here, second or third. Indiana, watch out for them.
I might just ride that train until they tell me to get off.
That'd be a good one. You can't ride the Pony Express this year. That's for goddamn sure. So I mean, we all bet Georgia. We all bet Texas. So that's two that we all had in unity. Looks like Texas was the only one that hit. I mean, the Georgia one is like, what do you even do about that? What do you even do about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel bad because two of these picks I switched, went to the other side. But
Yeah, if you switch, then you gotta let the people know. You gotta let the people. Iowa though, that one, Troy kind of hung with Iowa just enough to cover that spread.
that one ended up. I still I didn't waver from that pick. I ended up not betting it because I did bad here. I did bad, guys. Sorry.
All right, so to the 11 people watching this live, just listen. Between Mondays
and
Fridays,
a lot of stuff happens.
a lot of shit happens. Check on our social media. That's why you got to follow at College Football Extravaganza, at CFB Extravaganza. You'll see the handle come back up.
This is a rough draft.
This is a rough draft. I mean, mostly I try to keep mine the same, and I do try and bet mine because the pick'em that we do.
I didn't win a single college game in the pick'em.
I think I won a few this
And
week.
I bet against myself in the pick'em with 2 or 3 of them and ended up winning this.
All right. So now we're going to move on to week 4 picks and locks. And the first game we got coming up is kind of interesting to me. This is Illinois at Nebraska. I think Nebraska's
Sneaky good game.
is a sneaky good game. It is a sneaky good game. Illinois is +8 underdogs here. Nebraska looking good. Plus
Nebraska at home.
Nebraska is at home. It's +8.5 or -8.5 for Nebraska. Over under is 43.5. And this one's going to be a good one to watch on Friday night because I want to watch Nebraska against actual competition. Like I'm not saying Colorado's not good,
They're not.
but I think Illinois is better, and we're going to get to see Dylan Raiola and see Patrick Mahomes Jr. and see what he gets to do in the future for Nebraska. He's a young, true freshman. So, what the fuck? He did not. Okay, that's total, right? That's 670 yards
Total, yeah.
total. Okay,
that would have been unreal, yeah.
that would have been unreal. That would have been Umami Ellen, or not Umami Ellen.
That would have been Baker Mayfield,
Umami,
Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. So Illinois, Nebraska. Who you got, Joey?
I still like Nebraska in this game. I think Dylan Raiola is too good. I just can't believe that Illinois is that good of a football team, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they played well. They've proven me wrong. They beat Kansas, but Kansas also did just lose to UNLV, which was a fun game to watch too. I think Nebraska covers. I like them at home. I think they're a legit team, and Matt Rule is a very good college football coach.
Yep. I like them too. I'm not going to lock them in, but I got Nebraska. I think Illinois might cover, but I'm not.
8.5 is a lot of points.
It is a lot of points.
It's not a lock-worthy pick.
Yeah, it's not lock-worthy at all, but very interesting game for, Friday night game. Very, very cool for us to be able to sit back.
2 ranked Friday night matchups. The last one did not go so well.
Did not go so well. Let's see. Saturday, I know Justin's going to want to talk about this. Marshall at Ohio State, Joey. This one is
Talking about this game?
it's gonna be a thrashing. I'm talking about it because Justin's not here. I'm gonna talk about it because Justin's not here. So we got to talk about Marshall even in his absence.
Fair. What's the spread in this game?
Doesn't matter. They're gonna get fucked. They're gonna get absolutely destroyed. Yeah, I think
40. That's it.
Minus 40.
I might take Ohio State in that one.
I don't know, dude. Minus 40 is a lot of points. Total 51.5. I'd go the over. I think I might go the over on that. That's not bad.
I think Marshall's going to score the over hits. It's because Ohio State gets it by itself. But
Right.
Ohio State, I will say, they're not the same team they've been lately. They're a pound the ball, play good defense. They do have the best wide receiver in college football in Jeremiah Smith. But, I mean, I wouldn't touch the total. I'd take Ohio State minus 40. They're really good.
I think Ohio State is really good. I think you're right and everything you said. I still believe in Will Howard. I still think his best games are in front of him. So we'll see there. I'm staying away from it. Not going to do too much there. Another game, 11 a.m., NC State at Clemson, our ACC guy here.
I don't know. NC State,
I think they're trash.
I think they might be trash, but also this is one of those spot games where you got an 11 o'clock, a noon sleeper for Clemson. They are playing at home, but I could see I would take NC State plus 20.5. Probably not going to bet this game, but I think they'll hang around. I don't think their offense is just not that great. Cape Klubnik is kind of a bum. So I mean, I don't see them outscoring NC State by 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so. NC State had the transfer quarterback over from Coastal Carolina. What's his name?
They're expecting this game to be a 34-14 game.
Grayson McCall.
Yeah,
so
he's not good.
He's disappointing.
He was good in that with the coach they had with the mullet.
Yeah,
He was good in that offense, but ever since that coach, he left Coastal last year. Grayson did not have a good season. I think he ended up getting hurt, but whenever he played, he wasn't good. And he has not been good at NC State.
No, he has not. So I think I got Clemson here. I don't know if it's 20 and a half
I just
points.
don't see Clemson scoring 34 points on a legitimate team.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to skip a couple of these. Penn State finally playing, someone good. Kent State.
Big game for Penn State.
Big game for Penn State. I mean, after they almost lost to Bowling Green, I don't know what to think about it. But, yeah, they should cakewalk Kent State. But who knows, Penn State? What are y'all doing?
Ooh, this game's interesting.
This game is interesting. And we have a graphic for it.
Uh-oh.
We have a graphic for it because it's...
How late did you stay up making these graphics?
Oh, I didn't stay up that late. I have it pretty much figured out.
Can you figure out where to find the graphics at?
I mean, maybe it's still work in progress here. All right.
Where are you getting these logos from? I kind of love them.
The vintage logos. I got them from another college football page. Well, I mean, he stole them.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't own them.
Yeah, he doesn't own the vintage college logos. But yeah, I love the vintage college logo. I think that's the route to go here. USC at Michigan. This one is intriguing, guys. I think USC's going to win, but also, does Michigan have a coming out party? Do they come out of the closet here?
I think they're really bad, dude. And USC has a I think they're bad. USC has a legitimate defense this year, which is the first time you can ever say that for a Lincoln Riley coach team.
Yeah.
Their quarterback Miller Moss, is it Miller?
Yeah. Miller Moss.
Miller
Yeah.
Moss, he could be legit, but again, the one team you've watched him play that was good was LSU, who
Right.
could make me look good at quarterback probably. And I 5.5. I mean, I think USC wins this by at least 2 scores. I'm not completely sold on USC yet. I think they got a chance to be a really good playoff caliber team, not a national championship caliber team. Way different this year, but yeah, give me USC. I'll lock it in. I'll lock in USC minus 5.5.
I wanted to lock it in too, so we're gonna double lock it in.
It's my lock.
We're gonna double lock it in there. USC minus 5. There you go. The first lock for me and Joey down the drain. We got 4 more to lock up, and like you said, I think Miller Moss, he might be that guy, and Michigan doesn't have that guy besides Donovan Edwards, great running back.
But everyone's just gonna load the box against him.
Yeah, hasn't
actually make plays.
Hasn't been able to do too much. Orgy, not been that accurate of passer.
Like half the snaps, too.
Right.
He doesn't play them all.
Yeah, so I think
Name one wide receiver from Michigan.
No, yeah, I can't right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Orgy might need to get some more playing time. He looked like he was more poised in the pocket whenever I saw that.
Oh shit!
But I don't know.
I just realized something I didn't want to realize. We bet a shot game that I lost last week.
Yes, we did bet a shot game.
I had Miami of Ohio. They're the next game on the list.
They are the next game on the list. Well, we actually skipped over it, so we're gonna have to get some shots going.
I'll
here.
keep talking. I'll go get that.
All right, so didn't even watch the shot game. It was Cincinnati and Miami of Ohio. I don't know why we let Justin talk us into doing these fucking shot games for the MAC. And well, I guess Cincinnati's in Big 12. It's just ridiculous. Whoa. What do we have here? Some Costa tequila. Okay, check that out. Swampcast, 2-drink minimum. If you've not been in the Swampcast before, if you're not drinking along with us, what are you doing? Oh, that's terrible. It's kind of sweet. Oh, God. Oh, God. Fuck you, Miami of Ohio. Why'd you make us do that? Ugh. I mean, it would be better cold. Should have made it cold. Jesus. It's burning. Oh. What do you got in that? You got tequila in that too?
Just Cuervo.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, fuck you, Justin.
Woo, fuck you, Justin. Hope you send your locks in. All right. Good God. Notre Dame, I hope you destroy Miami of Ohio. I hope you beat the shit out of them for that shot. You got anything to say about this Georgia Tech Louisville game?
This is the scenario I was talking about last week,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a ranked ACC team that probably doesn't deserve to be ranked playing a non-ranked ACC team.
Then they get knocked out.
They get knocked out. Give me Georgia Tech.
Give you Georgia Tech.
Plus 10.
Plus 10. There you go. I like that. I do like that. I like the plus 10 there. I don't know if I like them to win, but I do.
I mean,
like
Georgia Tech is. I mean, I love the under in that game too. Georgia Tech's going to run the ball down their throat. They're going to shorten the game. That's what their MO is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like it. All right. UCLA goes to Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to face the Tigers. LSU's favorite minus 24.5. Total is 55.5.
I'm going to run the touchdown play and take LSU over. You can go ahead and lock it in. I don't love the 24.5. I do think UCLA is a very bad football team. Did you watch the coaches? Big
So you're
10?
locking in the over?
Yeah. Did you watch the coaches' Big Ten opening statement, or for the big? What is it called? The media days.
Yeah. Didn't he just kind of stove up?
Oh yeah, this is I'm the new coach at UCLA. We're a school in LA. Any questions?
Yeah, I remember that. He was just kind of paused a
Yeah,
little
it,
bit.
it
Just-
sounded like he had this big thing and he was going to say, and he completely forgot all of it.
Yeah, I
Kind
know.
of like I do on this podcast a lot.
Oh man,
No, but he seems to not be a very good coach. I mean, they were in a weird situation last year when Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly left. Yeah,
I'm going to go be the offense coordinator at Ohio State. Fuck this school.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think I just think they're bad. I'm going to bet against them a lot this year, but I don't trust LSU right now to beat anyone by 24.5 points.
I do like that 55.5 though. Not a bad total. Not a bad total at all. All right, next game. This is the one we were kind of talking about earlier with Cam Rising. He doesn't play. Blah blah blah. If Ollie Gordon can get something fucking going, we might have a shot.
Dude, that is a sick logo for Utah.
Check out that vintage Utah logo, and I didn't steal this from that college football Twitter page. I actually had to go on Google and find this one. So that is a sick vintage logo. I don't know why they don't use that one. Probably because it's racist or some bullshit like that.
The Seminole Indians won't even let Florida State wear the headdress anymore. So
what?
that one's full headdress.
Oh man. Oh no. All right. So Oklahoma State hosting the Utah Utes, and Utah's favorite -1.5 in Stillwater, Oklahoma. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean this has the potential to be the worst ranked game of all time. Because I mean, have you watched Oklahoma State play this year?
I have watched them play.
They're not a good team.
I watched the Arkansas game. A lot of mistakes. They did fight back, or more or less, Arkansas just handed them the game there at the end.
I think it was more of Sam Pittman's a bad coach and doesn't know how to manage the end of a game. Utah, on the other hand, is Cam Rising going to play? If Cam Rising plays, give me Utah all day. If Cam Rising doesn't play, give me Oklahoma State. I mean, that's Utah in a nutshell.
Right.
I mean, I think Kyle Whittingham's a really good coach, but they just don't have anything but that's not named Cam Rising.
I love him as a coach. I do love him as a coach. I mean, I'm looking right here at Utah's schedule here. They've played Southern Utah. They beat Baylor 23-12. Meh. Struggled against Utah State without Cam Rising.
They were beating the shit out of Baylor until Cam Rising got hurt, and they did nothing the rest of the game.
This is tough. If Cam Rising does not play, this is why you can't lock these in on Monday, because you don't know.
Hell, Cam Rising was a game time decision in every single Utah game last year, and he didn't play once.
That's true. That is true.
So yeah, I'm not picking this game. I mean, if it comes out, let that be known. If Cam Rising plays, give me Utah. If Cam Rising doesn't play, give me Oklahoma State. Either way, neither of these teams are top 15 teams in the nation.
I think you're right about that. I do think this is a good prospect for a shot game, though. I think it's a good shot game.
I don't want to take the shot game because we don't know about Cam Rising.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we can pick other games. There's other games out
Unless
there.
you're gonna give me that stipulation.
No. You gotta pick regardless. Irregardless. Why is this okay? This is just top 25. We need to not do that.
Rookie.
All right. 11 a.m. One of the dumbest games of all time. This team, coming off of the huge loss at home against Texas A&M in the rain, after the weather delay, after a record amount of commercials, after getting targeting penalties for tackling someone in the asshole, and then they're going to Starkville to face a team that just got blown out by Toledo of the MAC. And they're going to have to listen to a lot of cowbell. They're going to have to listen to so much cowbell, more cowbell than you would even think about. Florida's going to lose this game.
You think so?
I think so. This pick for me, I was listening to Unnecessary Roughness and Brandon Walker talk about this. He had a great point. In 2004, when Florida had Ron Zook, and the week before, Mississippi State lost to Maine. And then they went into the swamp and beat Florida. And Ron Zook got fired that day.
Yeah.
Billy Napier, if they lose to Mississippi State here, he's getting fired on the spot.
100%,
He's
yeah.
getting fired on the spot because the rest of the season is just over at that point. So I think I think Florida's just easy to scheme for. Without DJ Lagway being versatile, I think Florida's easy to scheme for. I think we're bad on strength and conditioning. I'm not locking in either way. Mississippi State, terrible team,
I think they're really bad.
but they owe us some karma for firing Dan Mullen.
Well, they do. Yeah, if they're fighting for Dan Mullen, give me Mississippi State all day. What's the spread in this game? Who even is favored?
Florida's favorite, -5.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take the points there if I was going to pick this game. But I mean, this is going to be another game. I might not watch Florida all year until they play Florida State because who wants to watch this game?
No.
It's going to be terrible. 57.5. I mean, can these teams score 57.5?
I don't think Florida can. I think Mississippi State can. I think anyone can score against Florida.
Except Tate Rodemaker.
Yeah, maybe except Tate Rodemaker, but he got knocked out. So that's
I don't know. This game, you might want to hit the who cares for this game, but I mean, I know you do.
I can.
I will agree with you. Here will be my lock for this game. If Florida loses, old Napier gets fired. You know, that's not a real lock, but you can lock it.
All right, fake lock. Fake lock from
Florida State Seminole Vesicles.
the Florida State Seminole Vesicles. Speaking of the Florida State Seminole Vesicles, another game,
Pass.
another lackluster game. Florida State, still at Doak Campbell Stadium, hosting
half of Doak Campbell Stadium.
half of Doak Campbell Stadium, maybe a quarter of Doak Campbell Stadium, facing the California Golden Bears for the first time as ACC opponents.
It's a late game. You have to scroll.
It's not looking good for Florida State, Joey. I think
No,
Cal is going to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, the stupidest thing in the world, if you want to make money, go bet Cal +2. Why is Florida State favored in this game? I do not know. Vegas loves Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
They love them for some reason. The fact that we were favored so much against Memphis was unreal. I mean, I did hear a lot of people say that we were going to cover. That was stupid. I told you last week.
Yeah.
Was going to win the game. This Cal team's decent.
They
Everyone
are.
thought they were going to be a terrible team coming into the year. The quarterback's good enough. Their defense is kind of legit. And we're not going to be able to move the ball. Maybe the whole thing, like I said before, if Alex Adkins makes a big difference, then we might, maybe we have a decent second half of the season. I mean, I don't see that happening. But no, we're not going to win this game. We might get blown out.
Did you see last week the California student section or the fans got 2 15-yard penalties for throwing debris or cards on the field?
Well, hopefully they do that at Florida State.
Yeah.
Can they get like 17 of them? Because that's the only way we're going to move the ball against this team.
So yeah,
I mean, I hope we end up seeing Brock Glenn in this game, but I mean, it just doesn't seem at this point that Norvell is going to make a change. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna. I hate that it's the late game. I would rather this be at 11 o'clock. Just get this shit over with. But I gotta wait until 6 o'clock to watch them lose.
Joey Panama City says FSU 0-12.
Potentially,
I
do
don't
play Chattanooga now.
Yeah, I think Chattanooga's got one thing coming to them. Honestly, I think this is just too good of a lock to give up. And for some reason, I didn't go with Justin and bet on Memphis. I ended up betting on Memphis 2.5 plus 2.5 last week. So I think I'm gonna
It was
bet
6.5.
It was 6.5. Well, I had it at Hard Rock at like 2.5 somehow.
It must have dropped crazy before the game.
Yeah, so I think right now I'd take California +2. I'm gonna lock it in because unless Florida State makes major changes, this California team is just more disciplined,
Better coach.
better coached.
Right now.
I mean, right now, that could change. California's not world beaters. Like FSU could win this game if they got their shit together. Maybe caught a ball or two and
Or
convert
put it
some
in their
third
freshman
downs.
wide receivers that's supposed to be extremely talented.
Something like that, dude. So that's just ridiculous the amount of balls they dropped. Vanderbilt at Missouri is kind of interesting to me, but I think Missouri bounces back. I think that's a
Who cares
game. I don't know if you have anything to say about that one.
Missouri's got to prove it to me before I start betting on them again.
You got to prove it or lose it.
There's a really interesting game underneath that.
This TCU SMU.
Somehow you missed it. Go scroll back up. It was the Miami South Florida game.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I didn't want to say that one because that's the next graphic. Boom, baby.
Called it.
Boom, baby. We're a Florida podcast. You got to cover the Florida schools. We could UCF's on a bye week this week, but yeah, Miami at South Florida. South Florida gave Alabama a hard time. I think Miami's gonna cakewalk all over them. To be honest,
Really?
Yeah.
The South Florida team's pretty good.
I know they're pretty. I think they are pretty good. And by cakewalk, I mean I think they're gonna win by a couple touchdowns, maybe 17 points.
I'm not a huge believer in Miami yet. They have all the talent to be really good, but you know what Miami does. They look really good at the beginning of the season, and they flame out. This might be a different Miami roster with Cam Ward, but one thing you haven't seen from Cam Ward a lot of yet is turnovers, and he's a turnover guy. He likes to turn the ball over. He fumbles. He doesn't throw. He does throw interceptions, not a crazy amount, but he will put the ball on the ground. What did you just say?
Joey says Chattanooga got a team this year, baby. We got to have 3 weeks to prep for that one.
I wish. That'd be nice.
You might need 3 weeks.
So I like the 16.5 that USF's getting. I think they're a really well-coached team. They got a decent amount of talent with them. I think they keep it close. I think they cover the 16.5. And you know what? I'll call my shot. Give me a lock on that one.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's a crazy lock. I think you're out of your mind because I'm locking in Miami to cover that 16.5 points.
All right.
And we'll see. I think it could go either way, but it's going to be a fun game to watch. South Florida is a decent football team. I just do think Miami is pretty good.
And just so everyone knows, I'm not basing it on the Alabama game. I bet USF's win total before the season started. It was like 7.5. I think I might have a chance to win this game.
Gonna need it. How long before Miami actually plays a real team? They don't this entire season.
They have one of the easiest schedules I've ever seen.
Yep, they do. Miami's probably going to cakewalk to the ACC championship, and
For the
then
first time in their history.
yeah, and then after that to the playoff.
They'll
College football
probably be
playoff.
in the playoff, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who in the ACC is going to stop them?
Right. Now, if they lose this USF game, that's all bets would be off.
They got to win the ACC championship game
Yeah,
they're in.
that's true. That's true. I guess so.
The ACC is going to win that game.
The ACC will win that game. Make sure I don't have any other graphics here before or other games to go over. Texas playing Louisiana Monroe.
It's -4. We didn't talk about Quinn Ewers getting hurt, did we?
We talked about it a little bit, not too much. Not too much. I mean, I think it looked like they're in good hands with Arch Manning.
Yeah, Arch Manning's going to be fine, but it just kind of sucks. It's probably going to run Quinn Ewers out of the Heisman. They said it's not as serious as they wanted it, or it's not as serious as they fear. That's I almost said as they hoped it would be. That's
Well, some people are, maybe.
Some people did, yeah, for sure.
Some people are.
But yeah, I actually kind of love the 44.5 there too. I'll probably be betting on that, but I'm not going to lock it in just because it's 44.5.
I want to say that I've only used like 3 locks.
I've only used 2.
You've only used 2. We're going to have to find some locks. I locked in California, Florida State. I locked in Miami, South Florida. Locked in
I locked in the over in LSU. I locked in USF. I feel like I locked in one more. I don't know.
no.
I locked in USC.
Okay, here, revenge bet for that shot I just had to take. I'm locking in Notre Dame -27.5 against Miami of Ohio. They're gonna come back and fuck them. That's 3, and then I'm locking in. Did we lock in? I think I locked in USC to beat Michigan.
I think we both.
I think we both locked that one in.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm gonna save my lock for this game of the week. What say you, Joey?
Oh, I love that game of the week.
I love this game of the week.
But we're not going to do it yet, right? Scroll through those games. Let's see if there's any more.
All right, let's see if there's some more.
Ole Miss is probably a good bet.
-36. Ole Miss, Georgia. I mean,
I'm going to bet that for sure.
yeah, I would. I want to spin the lock on the game of the week, but
Keep scrolling because that might end up being my lock. I mean, I do love that Texas spread too. Oh, there it is. Found it. Baylor +2. Give me Baylor +2 against Colorado. Let's go. Sorry. What time do you listen? Oh no, never mind. Sorry, the Eagles game just started.
Eagles
so
just started. It's about to be chaotic.
But yeah, give me +2. They're a halfway decent team. Dave Aranda is a serial killer. Go watch his press conferences. Oh, he is a serial killer. I promise you, he's got bodies buried.
Okay. We're gonna have to clip this out and then put it on like one of his clips of him doing
Go
something
watch him
crazy.
say, "I appreciate that" every time he gets asked a question even about his team getting stomped. But Colorado stinks.
He's taking names. He's taking names of media members and numbers. Oh,
He's gonna
man.
get fired and just go on a killing spree. Waco 2.0.
Oh, man. Boston College, hey, be careful. You got a Michigan State team coming off a win against Maryland. They're hot. I think Boston College gets it. But just be careful. Old Sparty might get you. Texas, I think that's a lock, too. That should be a lock. Minus 44.5. I know you said that. Yeah. So I'm just going through it in my head. So the Ole Miss minus 36, the Texas 44.5. I like both of those. Fuck Iowa. Big time.
Penalty.
Fuck Iowa big time. All right.
Legal man downfield. That's bullshit.
Moving on to
Tripp's like, hurry it the hell up.
the game of the week. It's the Tennessee Volunteers at Norman, Oklahoma, facing the
Oklahoma
Spooners.
Spooners.
The Oklahoma Spooners. How many people here like Seminoles?
One guy.
So Tennessee's looking like they're absolutely insane. I think they've outscored their opponents 200 and something to 13 over the last 3 games or something like that.
Yeah, it's unreal.
It's unreal. Oklahoma struggled against Tulane. They struggled against the team the week before. I can't remember who it was, but it wasn't really that good of a team. I'm going Tennessee big time, baby.
Yeah, this is another one. I understand why the spread's 7 because you don't really know what Oklahoma is. They had a lot of hype coming into the season with this new quarterback that they got, which I'm blanking on his name. But I don't think they're that good. I'm not sure that Brent Venables is the guy there. I love Tennessee. I'm going to make a large wager on Tennessee. You can go ahead and lock that one in. I am sold on Tennessee. Nico is the real deal. Heupel's an awesome coach. They're going to walk the dog on Oklahoma.
I think they will too. I'm locking it in as well. You heard the double lock noise there. It's over. It's done with. And
Why is that the play call?
And so are we. We are moving on to watching Saquon Barkley win me this fantasy football game. Hopefully, what the fuck's going on? Jesus Christ. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's another week of college football extravaganza. Justin is going to film an addendum. He said he's going to film an addendum with his lock, so stay tuned to that on Swamp Creatures Podcast Network at Real Swampcast. You can follow us below. Joey, would you like to say anything before we leave?
James Blackman sucks.
James Blackman sucks. You can catch me in Foley, Alabama on September 20th and New Orleans on October 18th. Thank you very much, guys. Adios.